we have to prepare ourselves emotionally, physically, pyrotechnically, scientifically, and theoretically for a web stream. Okay, there was never a course. So there was always this notion that there was this course on your boy Pep via Toure. So let's just go at the start. Now, Pep and Yaya, they were never friends. These guys were never the best of friends. They were never the best of pals. Yes, shall I say? They were never the best of pals. And there was always this notion that um, there was like some animosity between them and so forth. So that was always the well, no, there was animosity. There was animosity between Pep, Yaya, and of course his agents. So this is what I believe happened. Your boy Yaya, your Yaya's agents, because he was also beefing with Pep, because your agent is with you, put out a story that there's going to be a hex on Pep, and until the hex is lifted, Pep will never win the UCL. Now, this is the mistake that we all made, and we are all guilty of this. This is the mistake that we all made. We just assumed that if Yaya's agent says there's a hex, Yaya put that hex. Because if the agent says one thing, that means that Yaya must believe that one thing that the agent says. We never at one point separated the two. Because our explanation was, okay, if it's not true, Yaya would have come out and refuted it. But guys, think about it. You see, we think that social media is like the world, and people like if you're in social media, you're in the world, and you get everything there. Social media is a freaking microcosm of the world. I think they say that basically most people use Facebook. Then after Facebook, there is a massive gap, and then you have Twitter, Instagram, and so forth. Several family members I know, most of them have Facebook. A lot of them don't have Twitter. Most of them don't have a Twitter account. So that was the mistake that we all made, is the assumption. We all made that mistake of the assumption. So for Yaya, it never crossed his mind. It's never even crossed his mind to be like, oh, I have to refute it because it's never made news. So whenever there was a live stream, we just said, there's a hex. But that's between us because we're Twitter merchants. We are online merchants. That wasn't Yaya's world. Yaya has better things to do than freaking replying to chat GPTs on Twitter. Okay, that's a whole other discussion to have and so forth. Like shout out to AAI T2 T800. But now, obviously, now news broke that the Yaya's agent said, okay, no harm, no foul. The hex has now been lifted, and it's made news. So the thing was, oh my, the hex has been lifted. The hex has been lifted. So I truly believe this is actually the first time that Toure has actually heard about this, because it's like, hex? What hex? All right, because I'm not being in your online cycles and so forth for where this hex thing was going on. So there was a hex. So where the hell did this hex come from? So that's why he came out, obviously with the statement on his Twitter account, saying that no, sorry, bro. This is a stereotype, and it is people pretty much stereotyping Africans of linking us with this hex and everything. And he basically distanced himself from the agent. So here's the thing. The more fun story, the more exciting story is, oh my gosh, the reason why City lost all of those UCLs and the exit is because he had us hex. And every time we had the live stream, we just piled that on as the reason that he exited was because of the hex that he has. And as long as the hex is there, nothing's going to happen. And this even makes more of the news because it's more exciting to be like, okay, they're going for the treble. They've got a great chance of winning the treble. I believe they're probably going to win that treble. And it is just so fitting that, okay, the year in which the hex is finally removed is the year in which they win it. So it's just the stars all aligning. That's the fun story. That's the exciting story. That's the story that we want to add in because we are story merchants. we're narrative merchants. But sadly, there isn't a hex clause. Because I know there are a lot of City fans and Pep fans who be like, no, the reason why we lost that was because there was a hex, and there is nothing you can do against spirituality. But in actuality, coming, because again, I'm going to trust Yaya over some random agents. I don't know who that agent is. I'm going to trust Uncle. So if Uncle says there was no hex, that's all BS. That's just people playing into this whole African negative connotation and negative stereotype. I'm gonna trust Uncle that there was no hex. So so City, you exited because you were just trash and you had a poor mentality and you flopped. There was nothing to do with anybody having a particular hold up upon you. So for me, it was complete BS. It's just that you know what people are because okay look. Let's just play the game. Again, I believe, yeah, but let's just play the game. Let's just say there was a hex. The reason why people would argue that there was a hex is the ways in which City went out. You see, it's one thing to just you see, with PSG, that's just trashness. You see, PSG is ultimate trashness. City, there is a bit of trashness there, especially with your mentality. Hence why I always said that I am far more critical of the way PSG has gone out than the way that City have gone out. Because the way that City have gone out is like, hey man, it is what it is. That game against Real Madrid, it was a close game. The game against Tottenham, how that game even ended up, it was freakish. They got to the final, and you see, the one that is like you really screwed up, maybe two. The one, okay, I'll say two. The final against Chelsea, bro, why didn't you play DM? Something you've been playing all the way through. Pep lost them that final. 100% Pep is fully to blame. The Monaco one, I'm sorry. Sterling scores that, we may have a very different discussion right now. Sterling should have scored that. So Sterling, you missed from a yard out. And we also what my reaction was. But I think like LS, that's why we call them LSG. That's why we have a wing built upon them. Because for LSG, it is constant bozo gene. It's constant Britness. Hence why they have a wing. Because no, you've really messed up when you have no situation to mess up. And just it's the manner in which they've gone out. Look at how they went out recently against Bayern. They didn't score a single goal. Over 2 legs with Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe, he didn't register a single goal against not a very strong Bayern side. So for City, it was always sort of like, yeah, man, like it feels like if something is against us. It feels like if so whenever it feels like bad luck, you just say no, there must be something greater, some kind of spirituality that is messing us up. So that's what you would want to lead to. But let's keep it a stack. End of the day, City just messed up. So Yaya Toure had nothing to do with this stuff. There was never a freaking Yaya cause. There was never a Yaya cause. But I say that though. Look, again, I want to believe. No, I want to believe Uncle because I'm saying, wait. I mean, it's the way City are looking and the way they are going. If they are to win, and he comes out and says the course is lifted, is this just? It seems too convenient. See, that's just me because I want to be a story narrative merchant. There was no cost. Let's put that out there. And guys, let's keep it real because I'm already repping for this right now. We have to prepare ourselves emotionally, physically, pyrotechnically, scientifically, and theoretically for a web stream. Because we've had our fun with the live streams, and the live streams have been superb. I've loved them, but we have to face the notion that we realistically have to do a web stream. We have to do it because if Pep wins a treble, the UCL with 2 different teams, and the only manager to win a treble with 2 different teams, he's reached the managerial nirvana. He's reached the managerial coaching pinnacle, the coaching peak now. Because if that does happen, we're going to have extremely uncomfortable conversations, man.